Let's talk Paul Pogba, shall we? Because yet again, it was a very average performance from the Frenchman. And as much as you can talk about his positioning or what Jose Mourinho wants him to do, what his role is within the team, we are not seeing the Paul Pogba that we expected, that broke the transfer record, that came from Juve with such high expectations. Considering some of the individual performances we're seeing from other teams, other players on big teams, Paul Pogba, once again, just seems to be, well, bang average.
Yeah, you're right. I thought he was a passenger in that game, which was disappointing to see. I think he started the season so well as United, and clearly he was the creative force in that team. He was inspiring that team, created so many chances, so many goals as well. They were scoring a lot, and I think the injury then in the Champions League against Basel really stopped him. And since coming back, he's not the same. I think he's still trying to get back to his best, getting full fitness, for example, and things like that. There's an issue over his positioning. There's no doubt. He still doesn't do enough when United don't have the ball. He certainly doesn't defend enough either when they don't have the ball. There's a lot of work to be done there, but the potential is there. The talent is there. I just want Mourinho to do some proper coaching, like Pep would coach him, like other managers would coach a player like Pogba. Whether that means finding a better position for him, better players around him, but also individually coaching him for him to become better. Because since he joined United, he hasn't become a better player, where he should have become a better player.
No one seems to have got better at Manchester United.
They're here. That's it.
Well, he's great when he came and he's been great ever since. I am absolutely with Julien. To me, this is down to the way Mourinho's coaching. In the old-fashioned system, when you had two in the middle of the park, one would stay solid so the one could go forward. Well, if you look at Matic, particularly in this Southampton game, Matic was behind his centre-backs on so many occasions. Now, if Matic is that far back, then the only thing that's going to happen is Pogba's going to be even further back as well. So this, to me, is down to Mourinho's coaching. He has to get his players into positions where he and his team can get the best out of them. And that's not happening.
Julien, if I was to say to you, when Martial joined Manchester United, that Raheem Sterling would turn out to be a better player than him, certainly at the moment, you would have told me to be quiet. I didn't know what we were talking about. Yet, look at the progression Sterling has made over the last few months compared to Martial, who is bang average. Yeah,
and you know what? Last season, I think, was a terrible year for Martial at United, despite his first year under Van Gaal being pretty amazing. I think he was the club top scorer for a first year abroad as well. So young, coming to United from Monaco. It was, for the price tag as well, it was incredible. And then Mourinho arrives and suddenly is left out. It's like, no, and that's not what Martial responds to. Martial is one of those players, like others, who needs to be, showed a bit of love, showed a bit of arm around the shoulder, come here and we're going to work together, I'm going to improve you, I'm going to boost your confidence. Mourinho didn't do anything like that. He just left him out. And this season, he's been a super sub for Mourinho. This is not good enough for someone like Martial. Okay, maybe Martial hasn't done enough himself. I give him that. But Mourinho certainly hasn't done enough work with Martial. And for me, the failure so far of Martial in the last 18 months lays as much on Mourinho as on Martial himself.
Is Mourinho still a top-class manager?
Well, I've had my doubts about Mourinho for quite some time, and maybe he's regressing to the old mold of a manager and man motivated and maybe asking somebody to do his coaching, which quite clearly is failing. But my complaint about Jose Mourinho is that he doesn't set his teams out to just suit the way his current crop of players like to play. I think you saw that towards the last 9 months of his Chelsea tenure. I think you've seen that throughout. I mean, you could draw comparisons between Sterling and Martial. You could continue to look everywhere else in this park and joint comparisons to Manchester City. If 2 seasons ago you said you have to build a title-winning team with 3 centre-backs, Bailey, Jones and Smalling, or Otamendi, Mangala and Stones, you would choose the Manchester United trio every single time. But now you look at City play, you look at how it suits those centre-backs. You look at how it suits the likes of Jesus and Aguero. You look at how it suits everybody through the midfield. And It doesn't. Manchester United, I don't think the centre halves look that comfortable. Quite clearly, Pogba isn't living up to his promise. And well, we continue to question the likes of Lukaku, of Martial. I don't think Rashford has been given enough of a chance either.
We used to talk from Porto through the first time at Chelsea, through Inter. This guy was the greatest man manager that all of those players that he worked with in those three sides had ever had, by a mile. From Real Madrid to the second time at Chelsea, and now at Manchester United, he's going around upsetting everybody. And then you've got players talking about him in the press. I mean, this is a complete U-turn from whatever you think of him as a coach, as a man manager, with all the big egos and everything else, the best. You can't say that now.
See, the thing for me, I think that style works for Porto. It worked for Chelsea, who hadn't won a title in 50 years. It worked for Inter, who had not done anything in Europe. It doesn't work for Real Madrid. No. It doesn't work for Manchester United. And that's the big drop-off that we're seeing here.